Welcome into Good Day After the Show, streaming exclusively on WTOL 11+. I have a very special guest with me on the couch today. University of Toledo head women's basketball coach Ginny Boggess is with me today. Thanks for being here.
This was so fun.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so you guest co-hosted Good Day with me. What did you think about that?
I thought you made it very easy on me.
Oh,
so
well,
thank you so much.
Thank you
for your graciousness, and this is just such a great space. It's so warm. I know how much our women's basketball program means to Toledo and the surrounding areas, and so just giving a little bit more of an inside look to our program, it was awesome to be able to share.
Yeah. Do you find that doing new or different things just helps flex your coaching muscles a little bit too?
Sure. It also, I think, is a really good reminder. It's very humbling, remembering what these freshmen feel like for the very first time.
Yeah.
And I tell them all the time, you're not supposed to be good at something you've never done. And as I'm walking in this morning, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be hard. And it's like, oh, wait. Listen to your own advice. You're not supposed to be great at something you've never done. So, yes, it is helps me attach to them more. It's humbling in the best way. And, again, just being asked, invited, is really, really cool. So I appreciate it. Yeah,
well, you were in a little while ago on the show as a guest, and I was like, you know what? She'd be great. Let's see if she'll co-host with me. So I'm glad you took me up on the offer, because I know you're busy. The season's starting.
It's coming. Yeah, it's here.
Yes.
It's here.
And so what do you think we can expect this year?
I think you can expect a deep team, a fast team. The three things we've really been keying on is playing fast, rebounding the basketball, and celebrating one another. When you get a group of competitive women together like we have, they take it very seriously. They work really, really hard, and so they can sometimes be hard on themselves. So we want to lean into each other and really celebrate all of the hard work that we're doing. This team has built a very, very tight bond really quickly, and I think it speaks to who they are and their character. But they're a fun group, and I think you're going to enjoy watching them play.
Yeah. So their first home game is November 9th.
November 9th, yeah, we've got Gonzaga coming in, perennial power in women's basketball. Just awesome. I think it speaks to our reputation that they want to come here and get a good game. And we're going to give them everything we've got, and we're going to need Savage Crowd behind us.
Yes, and that's a big thing to have the fan base out there and supporting the team. So this is your second season at the University of Toledo. What did you learn from your first season?
23rd overall, too, right? So I feel like I'm just getting started. I learned a ton. Learned a ton about myself. I learned a ton about preparation. I learned a ton about process, staying growth mindset. And then at the end of the day, I was reminded that, these are just young women living out their dreams, and they're working so hard. They're truly doing the best they possibly can. And so my responsibility is to uplift and encourage, and to give them a roadmap on and off the court to help them reach their goals. And then they go attack it and usually meet or exceed any of the expectations I could put before them. And I couldn't be more proud to be at Toledo.
Awesome. And as you said, on and off the court, because they're working really hard. They're full-time students. They've got these dreams and goals beyond that too. So I imagine the discipline of basketball helps them with all of that too.
Absolutely, and leading into time management, and our staff does an amazing job of supporting their needs, as far as okay, you need to take a break, let's go get coffee, or you need to double down, let's get an extra hour of study hall. And so just kind of meeting them where they are and showing them the way is one of our privileges. We get to help them navigate this. Yeah, it's fun.
Beautiful to see after 4 years.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Typically, Evilise Cole's on our team now. I started recruiting her when she was 15.
Oh, wow.
So I remember the driver's license. I remember the prom. I remember high school graduation, first date. And then, now she's a sophomore and is just budding into this incredible young woman.
Wow.
And her confidence. And so, probably a lot like parenting. I'm not a parent, but I would think a lot like parenting. Just watch them become these amazing young women. Is really fun. And it's easy to celebrate them because of how hard they work.
Yes, absolutely. So, when you talk about recruiting, so you've been recruiting players before you even got here, because you were elsewhere.
Right.
Talk a little bit about your path to get to where you are.
Yeah, it began in 2003 as a graduate assistant at Kennesaw State University, and doors kept opening and, kept walking through them. One of the questions I ask myself when I get an opportunity is, is this the place that I can go to use the gifts I've been given to do God's work? And I felt like the city of Toledo was a place where that I could do that. But yeah, Kennesaw State, and then Hofstra University in Long Island, New York, to Jacksonville University. I was there for 5 years. Columbia University, which is obviously in the Ivy League in New York City.
Yeah.
Never thought this small town kid would live in Manhattan. I lived right outside of Harlem, right on the
Wow.
border. It was so fun, all the food and the culture, and I
Yeah.
love Broadway. Little
Yeah,
known
me
fact,
too.
huge Broadway nerd.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and then so Marquette, Penn State, and then Monmouth, and then as I often say, and then Brian Blair called, and his vision for our athletics department and his leadership are really truly inspiring to me. And we all want to be led well and well led, and I think he does that at an elite level. And so I'm really fortunate to be one of his ambassadors, and just try to get better every day.
Yeah, when he came in, I remember the first time I met him, we were like, because he came from Washington or something?
Sure, yep,
Yeah, yeah. And we were like, oh, welcome to Toledo.
Like, question mark.
And he, I don't know if he knew he was going to stay, but we knew that he was really good. And sure enough, he signed that extension, and so y'all have him for a bit longer. So yeah, definitely an impressive guy leading the athletic department there. So you mentioned you lived in Manhattan. Okay, let's talk about that a little bit more. That's
Why not?
interesting. So Broadway, do you have a favorite musical?
Oh my goodness. I think that would be like our author today, picking her favorite writer. That'd be really, really challenging. I loved Once, which
Okay.
is a little bit of a lesser known play. There was no orchestra. The musicians were playing on stage as they performed the play. And so that was for sure one of my favorites. We got to see Hamilton, which was really cool. I also love, Beautiful, which was, just an absolutely well-written, just amazing story. Yeah, I could go on and on. Oh my gosh, I'm just drawing a blank.
You got to see a lot, though. That's nice.
Yeah, we've seen dozens and dozens.
I think my first, I lived, I grew up in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton until I was 10. So we took day trips out to the city a lot. So my first was Grease. I got to see Grease on Broadway. And then I remember seeing Jekyll and Hyde, which was interesting, and Jesus Christ Superstar.
Rent was my very first one.
Oh, Rent is so
Rent was
good.
the very first Broadway show I saw, and I just was like, I think as an athlete and as a coach, seeing the people that are the best in the world at their craft. But to me, the discipline of a lot of people in the audience may see one Broadway play in their lifetime.
Right. You have to make
And
it
the
special for them.
responsibility of showing up for your castmates and for the audience, I just think they are consummate professionals, and that's just so fascinating to me. And so I love the story behind the story, and then again, just the artistry is beautiful to me.
Oh, it's amazing. I don't know how they do what they do, but it is truly amazing. So you grew up in West Virginia. Yeah.
Lincoln County, West Virginia.
Lincoln County.
If you go all the way down to like not Beckley, not like the southern tip, but like the southwestern belly near Kentucky is where Lincoln County, West Virginia is. Oh, look at me there. Oh my God, I love that truck. So I would sit in the middle of that three-seater of that F-150, and I would watch the RPM tick, and when my dad would hit the clutch, I would shift.
Oh, fun.
And that's how I learned to shift, and that like, I feel like that truck, that was in my life for a really long time. And
such good memories,
oh
too,
my gosh,
for you.
yeah. Look at that jumpsuit, though. Wow.
I love it. I love it. So do you know how to drive a stick then?
Oh, of course. My first two vehicles were stick shift.
Yeah, I don't have that skill. But
it's no longer really required. Our biggest thing, my dad was like, I don't want you up some holler at a bonfire and whatever, and you need to drive somebody's truck out.
And you can't.
And you can't. And so learn to
Good point.
Learn to drive a stick.
Good point.
Yeah.
But you played basketball, as a youngster, and just fell in love with it, huh?
Fell in love with hoops. My best friends, obviously my career, my traveling around the world. Basketball has given so much to me, and I think reflecting on that often, we get to pay this forward now to the young women that we coach and expose them to new things and new opportunities, and hopefully soon different countries and things like that. So yeah, basketball has been so much more than a game, but I've learned so much about myself, and although I give not a ton of outward energy during games, I'm very, very competitive. And so leaning into that nature, I think is what keeps me coming back and keeps me in that growth mindset.
Yeah. So that love for the sport. What position did you play?
I was a guard.
Guard.
I was recruited as like a 3-guard, big shooter, good passer and rebounder. And then somewhere around my sophomore year, we had a couple injuries, and I moved over to the point guard position, which was terrifying because I'm not very fast. But like I said, I understood the game maybe even better than I could play it. I lacked a little bit of speed, but moved over to the 1, and I stayed there, and I loved it. I loved, being the one that got to facilitate for our great players. I played with a couple All-Americans at Wingate University who were just absolutely tremendous, and I knew my job was to get them the ball and then take open shots and rebound when I needed to. And so I've worked with so many great coaches, including my college coach, high school coach, all the way back. I'm just so fortunate to have learned from them and grown from them to be able to be where I am and be prepared.
Has the game changed a lot, since?
The game has evolved.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the things these women are doing, even we were out in these AAU tournaments and these showcases, and 7th and 8th graders are performing like NBA type moves, like the athleticism, the speed, just the physicality of the game has evolved. The WNBA has really led the way. When I was growing up, women's basketball was not on television.
Right.
We'd get like the national championship or maybe the Final Four on TV. And so now, you're seeing this women's basketball eruption. And I really do think it's spurred on by the access to the game, the access to the players. And that's exciting for me. We're just getting started.
People love that, to have that access. When you see people like Caitlin Clark and what she's done, I imagine you've loved watching everything that she's helped do for the WNBA.
She's tremendous.
Yeah.
She's absolutely tremendous. And then, you've got Asia Wilson, who was the WNBA MVP this year, with a statue outside of the arena at South Carolina and her own shoe brand. And so many women moving this game forward. I think the thing that speaks to Caitlin Clark is, if you meet an NBA player in the grocery store, you're going to know. They're unicorns, right? They're 6'7", 275 pounds. There's these huge guys. Yeah. Caitlin Clark probably looks a lot like me in her sweatsuit at the grocery store.
Right.
So the relatability, that could be, my sister or my niece or my daughter, makes her really just truly easy to root for. And the way that she gives back to the game and to the community, I think, is just absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, so good work being done there, and it is encouraging to see where that's going to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, beautiful. So you've been here a little over a year then?
About a year and a half
About
now.
a year and a half. What are some of the things you like to do?
I love to be at home. So we love to be at home, bonfires, and we've got a pool out back, and the team will come over and swim and hang out, and so some fun stuff there. But we love to get a good meal. You can regularly find us at the Standard or Kango Sushi when we do go out to eat. But we've found a lot of great restaurants, even up in Sylvania, Chow, some different spots to stop. I'll take my dad to the Waffle House. They're on. You can take them out of the country, but you can't take the country out of them, right? So, no, we're just really simple people. Have loved, but we're at events a lot. At events for the zoo and events for. I'm on the board now at Imagination Station, so giving back to education and inspiring the youth, especially young women in STEM, is a passion of mine. And so, just excited to be here and use my platform to help grow opportunities for young women.
The Lego thing,
oh my gosh. Yeah. I didn't know. That is so cool. Yeah. If you guys haven't seen the Lego, I want to like pick it up. I want to know how heavy those boats are. It's just wild.
And how many bricks it takes, and then that's what's so cool about STEM and getting young girls interested in it, because they can go in and see something like that and be like, oh, this whatever career path, and it's really, really cool. Well, we're learning a little bit more about you. We're going to learn a little bit more because we're going to play a game. Oh. When we come back, we're going to take a quick break. Stay with us. Welcome back to Good Day After the Show, streaming exclusively on WTOL 11+. So glad to have Coach Ginny Boggess with me today as my guest. And I thought, well, you're a coach. Let's play a game.
Let's win. No, I'm just kidding.
Right? Let's win. Yes, let's go. Okay, so we're going to play this or that.
All right.
All right, let's start with some basketball. Offense or defense?
Offense.
Okay. Zone or man-to-man?
Man.
She's quick at these. Fast break or set play?
Fast break.
Early morning practice or a late night shoot around?
I prefer the early morning practice, but I give the late night shoot around because that's what our players prefer.
That's what they like. Okay. Buzzer beater win or blowout victory? See, they're getting harder.
Yeah, we would love a blowout, right? We want to
Yeah.
reward maybe some of our players that don't get as many minutes, but work just as hard, get them out there and give them some exposure and experience. But man, we had a couple buzzer beaters last year, and especially in Savage, there's nothing like that.
That crowd goes wild.
Yes.
Home game at Savage Arena or road win against a rival?
Road win against
the
BG.
road. Yeah, against BG. You'll have an opportunity to do that this year.
Yes,
right?
no,
Because you
so
play
much
one
respect for them.
Each place, you
Correct.
play them twice.
Yeah, we call that like a home and home.
Okay. Drawing up plays or motivating in the locker room?
Motivating the locker room.
Recruiting trip or film session?
Film session.
Okay. You do a lot of that, don't you?
I do. I love to recruit as well, but I think in this era, with all the recruiting and the rev share and the money and all the things that are happening, like we have to remember these people, like the 14 women on my team have already said yes to Toledo. They are the most
They've
important
committed.
thing. You can't get lost in getting the next one. Really making sure that we recruit, retain, and develop the best talent.
I like that because that makes the players feel wanted and
They're the most important thing
Yeah.
in our program.
Coaching from the sidelines or lacing up to play again?
Oh, coaching.
Coaching.
It's done. It's so
You're done. Did you have injuries or anything like that keep you from playing?
No, I had a really healthy playing career.
Yeah,
I'm very, very
good,
fortunate. I'm
good.
just, I was never quick. But I joke all the time, if I'm out there guarding us, no one's getting better. So we just, I'll let them do that. I'll shoot it every now and then, and I'll talk a little smack and just be silly, because I can still really shoot pretty well. And, the girls gas me up, which is hilarious, because they're like, okay, shooter. But no, I leave the work to them. And I am fearful, though, of an injury. I've seen in practices, I've seen Achilles and things like that. So I just want to stay healthy and well.
Yeah, very good. All right, let's talk a little Toledo pride then. Downtown Toledo or the Old West End?
Downtown Toledo.
Rocket football game or Mud Hens night?
Oh, God, I love both. Rocket football.
Yeah, I guess you kinda
shout
have
out
to say
Jason
that.
Candle.
Yeah.
I love what they're doing over there.
Yeah, he's a great coach too. Tony Pacos or Berry Bagels?
Berry bagels.
So good.
Extra butter.
Oh, it's so good.
It's
I
just
like
my kryptonite.
the herb, like the veggie cream cheese is really good.
So
too.
good.
Yeah, and that's right by Imagination Station. There's one over here.
Yes.
Maumee River Sunrise or Lake Erie Sunset?
I'm a sunrise girl.
Sunrise. Early, yeah, you like the early morning sun. Fall at the Glass Bowl or spring at Savage Arena?
Spring at Savage.
Yeah, gotta be that, right? Okay, let's talk a little more lifestyle. Sneakers or heels?
Ooh.
I know, because you wear both.
Everyday sneakers.
Yeah.
Heels about 30 times a year for games.
Yeah. And you like them.
I love them. A sweet lady at Monmouth actually said, you don't have to wear those. We worked really hard. She was raging feminist, right? It was in the best way. She's like, we worked really hard for you to know you don't have to wear those heels. And I was like, but I want to. She goes, oh, well, in that case, go girl.
You're like, good, you get it.
Like, awesome.
Yeah, you can have it. You can have it. So, you play the whole, you wear them the whole game.
I wear them the whole game. And
you keep up. I feel like I'd be slow.
I think because I've always worn them.
Yeah.
And so, I was raised, look your best, do your best.
Yeah.
And so I think it's fun. I think it's fun to dress up on game day, and I think it's fun to, be professional and model that for our young women. And, we'll see. I think the trends are changing, going more casual, which we do on the road. But for now, we'll keep dressing up.
Okay.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, you look great, so do it. Coffee or tea before practice?
Coffee.
Spotify or silence on the way to games?
Oh, Spotify.
Spotify.
Yeah.
What are you listening to?
Usually like gospel music or
Okay.
Maverick City or any of
yes,
those, Elevation
Maverick City.
Church.
Yes.
I'm generally, my dad would say, very tightly wound. So I don't need pump up. I need to come down.
Yeah.
And just stay present in a place of gratitude and I think my energy largely sets the tone for our team. And if I'm tight and belligerent, there's going to be that push pull. So we want to create a really neutral space with high expectations where they can show up and step into that. And we don't want, fear-based actions, right? We want confidence-based actions. And I feel like, I always say I'm really good at an 8. If I get to a 10, like that's not bad, that's bad, right? That's too
Bring
good.
her down.
Yeah,
Bring her
like,
down.
come on, like the rage. It's certainly in there because I want it for them so badly.
Yeah.
And they work so hard. So try to keep it at an 8 and the spiritual music on the way in really just kind of centers me and grounds me,
you
takes me down. Yeah.
Podcasts or playlists?
Podcast,
All right. Film study night or Netflix night?
film study. Yeah, I'm on the laptop film study, and Kristen's Netflixing.
Okay.
So yeah.
What is she watching?
Oh gosh, I have no idea.
Motivational quote or pep talk?
Quote.
Okay. Early riser or night owl?
Early riser.
Yeah, yep. Team bus snacks, sweet or salty?
Salty.
Yeah.
Salty, crunchy.
Salty, crunchy. What's your go-to?
Oh man, just like tortilla chips.
Okay.
Just keep it classic. I love Doritos. Those Dots pretzels. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so a story here, because they were made by this woman in North Dakota, and I lived there for a bit. And she made them like in her kitchen and then sold her company to Hershey's for like $1 billion, like with a B.
As she
Isn't that
should,
crazy?
because
They're
those
so
things
good.
are, they're so good, and they're not healthy, right?
Right.
Yeah, so we can give them to the team.
Yeah.
Get some carbs in there, but
Yeah.
those little 100-calorie packs, those are
So good.
The honey
and I know
mustard.
you like the salty better, but the cinnamon ones around the holidays.
I'll check those out.
The purple, that's the purple.
The purple
bag. Anyway, dogs or cats?
Dogs.
You have two.
We have two little guys, Milo and Sophie. Sophie's 16. She's a Brussels Griffin.
Wow.
And Milo is almost 13. He's a Chihuahua wiener. We call him our Chiweenie. He's still a wild man. But we love him so much. Actually, Kristen's been showing me puppies on her phone.
Oh,
They've gotten to
boy.
her algorithm lately, and
Oh boy.
we have maybe this spring. We have enough.
Yeah.
We have enough on our plate right now. So.
And they get along with each other, so you don't
Oh my gosh,
necessarily want to mess that up.
They're thick as thieves. They're little best buds.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
Cute. Text or call?
Text the players, call my friends.
Yeah. The players, if you call them, they're not going to answer.
If I call, they'll think they did something wrong.
Yeah.
Just like when they call me, I'm worried that something's wrong.
Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Yep, I get that. All right, just a couple fun ones here. Cut down the nets or hold the trophy?
Cut down the net.
Cool. Legendary upset or perfect season?
Perfect season?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. Like, yeah, that consistency of.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're perfect.
But then I go into there's no perfect season.
There's no perfect season, but that'd be cool, right? Team chant or locker room dance party?
Locker room dance party.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm all about the vibes. I'm a good
Do the
energy
players,
gal.
pick the music for that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and they egg me on, and they got me doing this thing, and all the whatever's happening out there. But again, we put so much pressure on ourselves.
Yeah.
You've got to have fun. We've got to keep it light. These are young people, and even our staff. We really take a lot of pride in making sure that that we can enjoy this process. I believe that what you experience on the journey will be waiting for you at the end. And if you experience pressure the whole way, you'll just have relief. Whereas if you are celebrating one another and you're getting better together and you're loving the process, at the end, there'll be joy.
I love that, actually. Yeah, if you're stressed, and then at the end, you're just like, oh, thank God it's over. Or that's a really good point.
And I've lived both,
Yeah.
and I would much rather experience the joy. And again, for them to go on and model that in their careers as doctors and teachers and as mothers and spouses, I want them to live their lives that way and just, be that ripple effect, that butterfly.
Good vibes. Good vibes in the locker room.
Let's go.
All right, I do have one more question. We're going to ask it after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to Good Day After the Show, streaming exclusively on WTOL 11+. So happy to have our guest here, Coach Ginny Boggess, on the couch today, repping my midnight blue and gold here for the team, getting started with the new season. One more question for you today. I ask all of my guests this. What is your media recommendation? Like, what are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you reading that you recommend?
I just finished reading at the recommendation of a friend, Let Them by Mel Robbins. And needed that.
Yeah.
That was really, really good. Listening, I podcast a fair amount. I listen to sermons. Elevation Church is probably my favorite go-to. And then I love Pastor Andy Stanley. And then also Slapping Glass is probably my first recommendation for a basketball podcast called Slapping Glass, which is really good. And then just in my everyday, We Can Do Hard Things. And then Abby Wambach and Julie Foudy just came up with a new women's sports centered podcast called Welcome to the Party.
Cool.
So I'm enjoying that. I'm in there on all this stuff. And, I love the leadership stuff, the Dan Rockwell stuff. I could go on and on. So
Yeah, podcasting I feel like has really like changed things in terms of being connected, I think. Like you,
Sure.
Yeah, and you just I was listening to one yesterday. It was Hoda Kotb and Matthew McConaughey, and I was like, I feel like I'm talking to Matthew McConaughey.
Absolutely.
Which is really cool.
And like, I'm always looking for information to share with the team.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The other day, the podcast said something like, don't let what you don't know get in the way of what you do know. Because we can be paralyzed by the unknown. Well, what do you know? And so we talked about that last night before the game. You know, we don't know this team that we're going to play that well because they've got some new faces, and we don't know what they're going to run because they haven't played yet this year, but what do we know?
But what do we know?
And how we can lean into that. So a lot of the stuff that I share with them comes from, people a lot smarter than me with a lot more experience than I have. And so, we just kind of lean into that, but I love it. I love to learn.
Not a whole lot of time for like, binging Netflix though.
No, not too much. And again, I tend to lean into, if I have an hour, I'll watch film. I'm like, what am I watching right now? You asked me earlier, Troy and Gonzaga. So not, no series, no, I don't know. Sometimes the Golden Girls is on in the background.
Oh.
So I love the Golden Girls.
Cute.
But then there's sports on in the background.
Okay.
We've always got a game on, which we enjoy.
Very good. It is the season. We got a lot of sports going on right now.
Absolutely.
So that's really nice.
Absolutely.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For joining me. We appreciate it. Got to know you a lot better and get you connected a little bit more with the community as well. And of course, as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you tell your friends, download WTOL 11 Plus, and have a good day, everybody.